name is Miss Sircy, and today we're going to be starting our scheduling process through our math class. So it's going to be really important that you pay close attention and that you follow along with me. Teachers, at this time you should have already passed out the transcript checklist and each student's transcript. The first thing that we're going to look at is students, you need 22 credits in order to graduate. You have to have 4 of those credits in math, 3 in science, 3 in social studies, and 4 in English. You also have to have a PE and health credit, a computer applications credit, and an arts and humanities credit, along with 7 credits of an elective. Now when I say 7 credits of an elective, what I mean is each class that you take is a half a credit, so that's 14 classes of elective courses that you're going to need at the end of your senior year in order to graduate. If you look on your transcript on the top right hand corner, you're going to see listed the total number of credits that you currently have. What I want you to do is right out here to the side on your transcript check is to list how many credits that you currently have. Teachers, if you need to pause the video at this time to give your students time to complete this activity, you can. Okay, the second part of your transcript check is a little more difficult, so you're going to have to pay extra close attention. On your transcript, you're going to see several classes that have listed courses, and beside them you're going to have long numbers. If the course ends in a 4, that is part A of the course. If the course ends in a 5, that is part B of the course. What you're going to do at this time, on number 2, you are going to draw a line through each course that you have already passed. If it's part 1, you're going to draw a line of part 1. So if that class ends in a 4, for example, English 1, if that last number ends in a 4, you're going to draw a line through part 1. If the last number on English 1 ends in a 5, you're going to draw a line through part 2. You're going to complete that for English, math, science, social studies, related arts, which is your humanities, health, and PE, as well as your computer applications. Teachers, at this time, if you would please press pause on your video and give students time to complete this task. Okay, the second part of this activity is you're going to be looking at your elective courses, and you're going to write each one of your elective courses in this box. You have 12 spaces that you can list elective courses. For example, if you took emergency procedures, that's going to go in box number 1. But if you took health science principles, that is a 2-trimester course. And if you took both trimesters, you're going to put health science principles in number 1 and health science principles in number 2 if you pass both sections of that course. Teachers, at this time, you can press pause on your video and give students time to complete that task. Okay, now we're going to move on to step 3. On step 3 of our transcript check, you're going to look at all the classes that were listed in the top. Any class that you do not have a line drawn through, you're going to write in the small boxes on number 3. So if you took Math Part 2, sophomore math, and you passed the first part, but you failed the second part, so you still have that open, there's not a line drawn through it, you're going to write Math 2 Part 2 down at the bottom. If you have not taken your humanities credit yet, or you do not have 3 years of band, orchestra, or choir, you're going to put humanities. Now, you'll notice that humanities is a Part 1 and a Part 2 course. So on number 3, you're going to have to put humanities on 2 different boxes. Teachers, if you can press pause at this time so students can complete that task. Okay, teachers, at this time, if you can direct students to look at number 4, this is an extremely important section so that students can be aware of what classes they have failed and still need to make up. So at the top, if there's any class that you failed and did not make up, I want you to write it in on number 4 to make sure that we get those scheduled in. That's important to do so that we're not trying to make those classes up your senior year. Teachers, if you can press pause and walk around the classroom and help students to complete that task at this time. Okay, teachers, now if you can have the students turn their paper over, and on the back of your transcript check, you have just a few more items to complete. Number 5, you have check to see if you have met pre-college curriculum. In order to go to college, there are certain classes that public universities require you to have. One of those courses is Spanish, 2 years of a foreign language, if you want to go to a university. If you've gone gone to a previous school and you've had another foreign language, that can count as well, but you have to have 2 years, 2 full credits in the same foreign language. If you currently speak another language and that is your first language, for example, if you speak Spanish, that's what you speak in the home, and English is your second language, then you can count English as your foreign language. They are going to check this when they do acceptance letters into college, so you want to make sure that you're honest about it. If you have not completed your foreign language requirement, you want to do that as soon as possible. Second thing you have to do is they recommend that you take pre-calculus or higher in another 4th year of science or social studies. So when you're going to pick elective classes for next year, it's real important that you want to take as many science, social studies, math, and English classes as you can. They will look better on your transcript and help you get into college. On number 6, check attendance and list total days absent. You are going to see the total number of days absent on your transcript. I want you to write that number on that line out to the side. Attendance is extremely important because it will affect whether or not you can go to prom. In order to go to prom, you cannot miss more than 10 days of school, 10 unexcused absences, and that does include tardies. For every 3 tardies that you have, that counts as 1 day of an absence. It also affects your keys money. If you do not have good attendance, regardless of how well that you do in school and the grades that you have, you will not be able to access your keys money. And then it also affects college admissions. Colleges do look at your attendance when they decide whether or not to let you come to their school. Number 7, you're going to write your GPA, which is on the top right-hand corner of your transcript, on line number 7. Remember, colleges will review your application even if your GPA is below the admissions requirement, but your most current grades will have an impact on acceptance into those schools. So if you're a senior and you do not have the grades, the GPA that the college is requiring, that school is going to look at the classes that you took your senior year. They're going to look to see if they were rigorous, if they were hard classes, or if you just did the bare minimum to get by. And they're also going to see what the grades were in those senior year classes. Number 8, view the keys information on page 3. In your scheduling booklet on page 3, it has an entire chart on keys money. Keys money is free money that you get in order to go to college within the state of Kentucky. You get money based upon your GPA, your attendance, and your ACT score. Teachers, if you can please press pause at this time so you can review that information with your students. Okay, the last thing that we're going to cover is step number 9. If you are interested in playing sports in college, you have to meet certain requirements in order to be eligible to play for the NCAA. Those requirements are listed on page 3 in your scheduling booklet. Remember, athletes, it does not matter how good you are, if you do not have the grades in order to be approved to play through NCAA, a college cannot pick you up. So those classes that you take your freshman and sophomore, junior year are extremely important. Teachers, if you can, please press pause and review those guidelines on page 3. Our first part of our scheduling procedure through your MAP class. The next step that we will have will be on the 22nd of February, and you will actually be declaring a major and picking the classes for next school year. Thank you and have a great day.